Well, investors looking for dividend growth typically focus on utility, consumer staples, and healthcare companies. But should technology names be added to your list? Apple issued its first dividend 2 years ago, and today is the second biggest payer in the S&P 500. And as Seema Modi reports, more tech companies may be ready to follow suit.
Yesterday's hot startups have quietly matured into some of today's biggest cash cows for investors.
Technology is the biggest payer of dividends out there, more than banks, more than consumer groups, even if you combine the two together. It's something you wouldn't have thought of 5 or 10 years ago.
So what's driving tech companies to issue dividends? Analysts say there are 3 factors. First, tech is sitting on a record amount of cash. According to Thomson Reuters, $486 billion. Second, more activist investors like Carl Icahn are pushing tech companies to give that cash back to shareholders. Third, many large-cap names are dealing with slowing growth and maturing products. According to S&P Capital IQ, a number of companies fall into these categories and are expected to increase their dividend this year. Apple, already the second largest payer of dividends on the S&P 500. Microsoft, which typically increases its dividend in September. Intel has increased its dividend every year since 2004. And IBM has upped its payout every year since 2003. Now, while these companies are big dividend payers, that hasn't always resulted in gains on Wall Street. Take IBM. Shares are down 13% over the past 1 year due to disappointing earnings and slowing growth. It's also important to note that some of tech's biggest names still don't pay a dividend, like Google and Facebook, choosing instead to spend their money on things like acquisitions.
High-flying technology issues that currently don't pay, I believe eventually will, as they mature, to use the terminology, and are more secure in their footing with their cash flow and their product base. They will start to share their wealth with their shareholders.
But at some point, these companies may join the dividend craze too. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Seema Modi.